Danganronpa.
Reality slips far away, fiction comes alive, we start to play. Hope is no more behind the closed door as we drift away from where we were before. Hope and hopelessness become one, it's all meaningless, we've already begun. Yup, we are all one and the same, never opposites, we play the same game.
Walk the line between hope and despair, running from the truth but it's already here. Told so many lies, I don't know if they can find me. Only one life to live, so choose wisely. Heads or tails, they even know the side you're on. Doesn't really matter if it's on the same point. If you wanna achieve, you gotta believe the time right now. There's the door, is the key.
Chase the pain up and let it fade away. There's a ray of hope beyond despair. Move on, look for the truth in this world.
Dedication, that's what it all.
Break through the confusion, find a solution. Beat the twisted evil things. Just do it, go for it, never. Break through the confusion, find a solution. Beat the twisted evil things. Just do it, go for it,
Shy Guy, you don't have to keep this charade up any longer.
Charade? What are you suggesting?
It's simple. Shy Guy wasn't the one who opened the door. It was me. I was helping him because he was sick. There must have been some sort of noise when the trap was sprung, but we probably couldn't hear it over the music. In any case, you don't have to protect me, Shy Guy.
Rosalina, what are you...
Perhaps the trauma of Fujikawa's death is affecting your memory, because I was the one who opened the door.
No, you can't be. I was the one who did it.
Shy Guy, you don't have to put that burden on yourself for our sake. It's alright. White Yoshi, are you certain about that? I'm pretty sure we were there at the same time. Who's to say, really? It honestly startled me when the door opened just as I was turning the handle. What are they playing at? Wait a second, is it what Drybone said? That we had a chance to do something we didn't before? Could it mean that we have the ability to lie? Why would he even bring it up? Unless the idea is to force all of us to accept a sacrifice clause.
Is anyone actually buying this crap? It's obvious that they're lying to protect Shy Guy. Not that I can fault them for trying.
How do we know, though, that they're lying?
I don't know. They seem pretty sincere to me. Perhaps they're telling the truth?
Please, it's obvious this is a desperate tactic.
Would you bet your life on that, I wonder? Because we have 3 people here claiming to be the one who opened that door. We need to be certain. If we cannot ascertain that beyond a shadow of a doubt, we all suffer.
How can we be sure, though? The room was dark at the time, and our attention was on the stage. Is there any way for us to be sure?
Well, as I see it, if we cannot determine beyond a shadow of a doubt who opened the door, we should explore a different possibility.
What do you mean? Huh? Anyone care to explain?
Ah, I see what you're suggesting, Mr. Tanaka. The sacrifice clause we were provided with.
Hey, I'm all for not risking our necks if we're not certain, but axing someone willy-nilly, is that really cool?
I propose, since we cannot determine who triggered the trap, that we instead try to discover the identity of the one who planned the murder. If anyone should face judgment, it should be them and not someone chosen at random. We're wasting the time we have here. I say we cut the crap and just get on with it. I still don't buy the crap that those 3 have, but I'm not gonna lose my head over voting the wrong person guilty.
But what happens if you end up being the one sacrificed? I believe we should continue to discover who was the one who triggered the door.
Sounds like we've got a good old-fashioned case of scrum debate. So, we're gonna let everyone decide the next stage of the trial. Pick who you want to represent your voice, captains!
We are far closer to determining the identity of whom triggered the trap than the identity of the mind behind it. If they are not one and the same, we don't have time to waste chasing something that might be fruitless.
Let us be honest with ourselves here. You really don't mind us finding the person behind this. However, you're letting fear cloud your judgment. If you let the mind behind this go unpunished, it will only be a matter of time before they strike again.
Even if I were to concede your point, I have no way of knowing if we could find this culprit in time.
Well, stop wasting your time arguing with me and help us find them.
I'm not unsympathetic to parties involved. However, I do agree that after scouring through alibis, we've been unable to pinpoint the person who planned this, much less their motive for the crime. As distasteful as it is, we do not have to punish the person who triggered the trap. We may all forfeit our lives.
But if we vote the wrong person in the process, then our lives are forfeit anyways. When you look at it through that lens, the only option is to find the person who staged all of this.
Then tell me, if Drybones did in fact tamper with the weapon and change targets, why target Birdo? Why her specifically? Blue Toad, if you can't answer that, that means you have no means of identifying the person behind it. Face it, our backs to the walls and we must make a difficult choice.
You're right, we do have a difficult choice, but I intend to make sure we make the right one.
If we can't find the person beyond a shadow of a doubt who triggered Fujikawa's death, our next best option is to find the person who orchestrated it. To me, it's just that simple.
I don't believe for a second that you're oblivious. You know good and well that Bunt is trying to protect Shy Guy. I don't blame them for wanting to protect someone they care about, but I want justice for Pink Yoshi. I won't let you stand in my way either.
Justice for Pink Yoshi? If you really wanted justice for her, you'd go after the person who planned from the beginning. Even if Drybones is the reason why she was targeted. He wasn't the one who planned to murder someone in the first place.
That's bullcrap and you know it. If I can't punish Drybones, I'll punish the one who pulled the trigger and was responsible for her death.
Time to call this debate to an end. Everyone lock in your votes. Who etched out who? What direction will you take now? Well, my lovely students, who won the debate? I'm sure you're on the edge of your seats. By a small margin, our group who seeks to punish the mind behind this crime wins. Boy, this was a lot closer than I expected.
Well, now that we've been outvoted, how precisely do any of you propose we discern who is behind this?
Perhaps we should play the events in order to offer some perspective. Maybe that will reveal something we've missed.
I agree with Sayaki's suggestion. In order to make some sense of this chaos, we can begin with the motive yesterday morning. It took many of us off guard. Some of us even kept to ourselves following that time. Clearly some of us had something we wished to keep hidden from one another.
It was later that evening that I stumbled upon Birdo, and I panicked thinking she'd been killed. Birdo arrived, and we together got her to the nurse's office.
And then you and I discerned what seemed to be a clear trap.
Wait a second. We just assumed that Purple Yoshi's attack was random. But what if it wasn't? What if it wasn't just bad luck?
I take it you noticed something, Shimizu?
Purple Yoshi, Birdo, what if our culprit didn't just leave a trap lying around? What if they were actually in the room when Purple Yoshi walked in? If they didn't get a good look, they could easily make a mistake.
Their matching skin color, their height, proportions. The culprit thought that Purple Yoshi was Birdo. It explains why they weren't more thorough and left her alive. She wasn't their target to begin with. We already assumed that they must have been in the room at some point because the light was shut off. However, they must have triggered the trap on Purple Yoshi, then realized it was the wrong person. Then, in a panic, they shut off the light and left her as Luigi found her. It does serve to tie both incidents together. Until now, we had assumed it was either a test run or a random incident. However, it may have been neither of these things. Perfect. Now we can simply surmise who could have achieved both of these incidents. Do we have any further evidence in this matter?
Perhaps someone said something during the motive that was odd?
Kawasaki, what was it that you said to me earlier?
You'll have to be specific. It's been a long day. This can't be happening. This is all wrong. Open your eyes.
Kawasaki, I'm so sorry.
You're sorry? She would still be here if not for you.
I wanted to reach everybody with music. I never wanted this to happen. I didn't know this would...
Forget your apologies. Nothing you can say or do will bring her back. I wish it was you.
You remember saying that, right?
Yeah, so what? I was upset and I wasn't lying. If you hadn't organized this, she would still be here.
That's not what you meant, though. When you said you wish it had been me, you meant that it was supposed to be me, right? What is everything supposed to be about you now, Berto? Besides, it's already been established that I couldn't do anything. Or did you forget about my arm?
No, I haven't forgotten anything. If anything, I'm remembering things more clearly now. Bowser, you have the murder weapon, right? Can I borrow it? I really need it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Just be careful with it, alright?
Thank you. Don't worry, Bowser. If something happens to it, I promise I'll make it up to you.
You call that careful? Why would you throw it?
Just as I thought. I thought you said your arm wasn't in any shape to be used. Seems like your reflexes are just fine, though.
So what? My arm is almost healed. That still doesn't prove anything. Everything you have is just theories.
Hey, Takano, what I want to know is how you know that he'd be able to stop that. Furthermore, that he'd do it with that hand.
That's actually really simple. Having practiced as a group for a while, I found out that Kawasaki was a lefty. I knew he was lying when he said his arm couldn't be used, because he mentioned just yesterday that it was almost healed.
So are you serious still want to do this? You know, with the motive now?
Nonsense! The show must go on! I'm not gonna let some stupid bear ruin one of my shows!
That's what I call an unbreakable spirit right there.
Yeah, don't you worry, Kawasaki. Everything will be just fine. If anything, it should put everybody at ease. Music soothes the soul, right? No way we backing out of this now. Even though Yellow Toad is the only one here who has some sort of musical experience, it still should be quite fun.
Worst case scenario, we get some fireworks and light it up!
I think the firework you're referencing is yourself. Anyway, Kawasaki, if you're gonna perform with us, how much longer do you think you're gonna be out of that cast,
Well, I'm hoping very soon. Probably, a couple hours or something.
Now that I think about it, who exactly is gonna be performing?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, myself, Usosuke, Kawasaki, and Fujikawa should all be performing.
Interesting. We initially wrote off Kobayashi as a suspect because of his disability, but it's obvious he must have had a reason for waiting his injury longer, one that is becoming more and more apparent.
Stop acting like I'm some sort of criminal. I would never kill anyone. No, I cannot accept that. Please, Kawasaki, say something.
What is there to say? He's clearly hiding something. I bet he's the person behind this. No, it's certainly a start, but we still need to determine the motive. We can't leave this to chance. Kawasaki, I know why you targeted Birdo. It's because of that thing you told me during the motive? The thing you didn't want Pink Yoshi to know?
You got it. You promised you wouldn't tell a soul, but after I found out about the motive, well, you know.
Alrighty, I'm mega confused. If it's some sort of secret that he told you about Yoshi, why did he target Birdo?
My poker face must be slipping in this place. Birdo noticed something was wrong with me, and she asked me about it. I was forced to tell the truth, and well, I ended up telling her Kawasaki's secret. I pieced it together that he heard us when he attempted to kill her. Waiting on a certain someone, Kawasaki?
Oh yeah, you got me. I'm just waiting on Pink Yoshi. It takes a while to get ready.
I suppose Kirby wasn't lying then. You two do like each other.
Just don't listen to what Kirby says. Oh yeah, she's a handful, that's for sure. I like how spontaneous she is. She's fearless and full of energy. Honestly, I was intimidated at first, but I don't know, that's kind of why I like her, I guess.
I wouldn't expect you to be so upfront.
Hey, sorry if this comes off rude at all, but how come you're being sort of nice to me? You kinda just, no offense, but you're a little crude with everyone else.
None taken. Let's just say you're a bit more tolerable than everyone else here.
Thanks, I guess.
Something wrong? Thought you'd be more excited to have a person for comfort in here.
It's not that, it's just, I've done some pretty bad things in my past, and I don't know if she's gonna like me for it.
Well, if you need someone to open up to, I'm all ears.
Well, back when I was still a novice in culinary school, I wasn't the best chef, but I had a really bad temper. And every time someone gave me a bad review on my food, I was always furious, and
This one time, a critic told me I had the worst food ever, and he told it all over the news and the media that I had the worst food that he ever tasted before. And the guy was a well-known critic. It's just... it really hurt me, but after that I did something that I can never forgive myself for.
May I ask what?
Well, that night, I followed the critic home in my car, and let's just say I got back at him, if you catch my drift.
You killed the guy?
Oh, why did I just say that? I didn't mean to. Look, I know how it must sound, but you can't tell anyone, especially Fujikawa, please.
I don't really understand, but sure, I'll keep it to myself.
Thank you.
You really think that Pink Yoshi would have disowned you over that? That girl was head over heels about you. She was nothing like most people. She would have had more faith in you, and you should have had more faith in us.
Can someone clue us in on what this big secret is?
Sorry, but after White Yoshi accidentally told me, well, I intend to keep my word.
I tried to kill you last night, only to hit the wrong person. I pulled this afternoon. You know how many times I screwed up while I was setting this up? I didn't even sleep. Fact is, I never went back to my room last night. After what happened with the committee and everything, I was afraid if I went back to my room, someone in the committee would catch me. And after all that, you'd still keep my secret? Just get it over with, you guys. Well, I also tried to do it because of the other motive. I would have taken Pink Yoshi and Kirby with me, but a little good that did, I guess.
Kawasaki. Who is truly to blame, though? Pink Yoshi died because Dry Bones meddled with the trap. But Kawasaki was the mind behind it. But Shy Guy directly caused it. I'm so confused. Is there even a right choice? Saiki, before we vote, perhaps we should go over this case one more time, just to make sure we're making a good decision here.
Here's everything that happened in this case.
I think I'd better start back at the beginning, yesterday morning. This will be a bit difficult to explain, due to the fact we have 3 potential culprits. This case starts yesterday morning, when White Yoshi ran into one of the culprits in the hallway. I assume the culprit seemed shaken about something, which prompted White Yoshi to ask what was wrong. But due to the new motive, the culprit was forced to tell the truth and told White Yoshi an unknown secret. This would later evolve into an incentive for the culprit to kill. Fast forward a bit to where we were introduced to the second motive. Monokuma told us that he'd released the truth serum into the air, which prevented us from lying or deceiving one another. With that in mind, Monokuma alerted us of his secondary motive, being that if a killer could get away with murder, he'd let them take 2 bodies with them. Our culprit was now more motivated to kill. The culprit wanted to bring Kirby and Pink Yoshi with them. It was later that afternoon when Birdo came to us, saying Pink Yoshi, Yellow Toad, herself, and the culprit wanted to hold a theater performance in the new theater room. We all figured it'd be a good way to bring everyone together. However, we couldn't be more sorely mistaken. Numerous people volunteered to help set up the theater, such as lights, instruments, clothes, etc. However, someone else volunteered to help, another one of our potential culprits. It was around this time, I assume, one of our culprits overheard Kimura accidentally telling Takano his secret, which ensured his new target, Birdo. Then, they started to prep for today's show. This was when one of our culprits slipped up, saying their cast was almost healed, which would prove to be one of the culprit's incriminating factors. It was that evening that the setup was almost finished. The culprit went and grabbed shot put balls from the gym storage room, where he'd carry them back to the prop room, where the culprit would set up their trap in an attempt to kill Birdo. However, the person who walked in was Purple Yoshi, and because the culprit didn't get a good look, they mistook Purple Yoshi for Birdo. They acted fast, which is why the scene seemed so sloppy. They shut the lights off and left Purple Yoshi in the prop room, where I began to found her minutes later. Initially, we deduced it as an accident, later to figure out that it was an intent for murder. That night, the culprit went to the theater to rig a trap to kill Birdo the next day during his performance. The culprit tied piano wire around a shot put ball and onto the theater's door handle, then running it above the audience and above the lights on the stage. The culprit had to leave the theater door open, because once it closed, whoever opened it again would trigger the trap. The culprit was scared to leave the theater if they were caught by the committee, so they ended up staying in the theater all night. The next day, right before the performance, is when our other potential culprit took action. They messed with the trap our other culprit set up the night before, altering the target from Birdo to Pink Yoshi. But Pink Yoshi was always moving, so how would the culprit hit her? Well, the answer to that is simple. The culprit has an ultimate like no other, where they were able to use a spirit to make sure that their target would hit. Right when the performance was in full swing was when things took a turn for the worst. Our final potential culprit got sick from eating so much the night before, thus had to leave in a hurry. This culprit and Rosalina left the theater, opening the theater door in the process, which triggered the trap. We didn't even realize because it happened so fast, but right before us was Pink Yoshi's limp corpse. It was then that the culprit said something very incriminating, being the phrase, "No, this is all wrong." However, we can't directly identify the true culprit, so we're left with 3 suspects: Shy Guy Nakamura, Kawasaki Kobayashi, and Dry Bones Bugaruki.
Okay, now can you guys vote? Jeez, you guys take forever.
Alright. I suppose we have to pick between Shy Guy, Kawasaki, and Dry Bones then.
Oh ho, well, I gotta say this is really interesting. It wasn't unanimous either. A lot of you thought that Dry Bones deserved to bite it, even a few for our little Shy Guy. However, by a sizable margin, you all decided to enact the sacrifice clause. And Kawasaki Kobayashi, you are the one with the most votes and on the chopping block.
What?
You mean more of you rather voted for Kawasaki and not Dry Bones?
I apologize, but it's about fair judgment here. Sure, Dry Bones meddled with it, and it does not exactly seem like the best person, but Kawasaki was the one who planned this all out. He was the one who had the original intent for murder, so if we keep him around, who knows, he might try the same thing again. Ugh. Dead to me, I will make you suffer, just like I said.
No, I refuse to believe Kawasaki's a killer. I wouldn't be here because of him. He's the one who helped me back when Monokuma attacked me. I can't accept this. There's no way.
I understand, Kirby, but it's also the truth.
Kirby, please. I deserve it. I made the stupid mistake of trying to kill someone and... now look where it got me. Don't make the same mistake as me, okay, Kirby?
Of course, Kawasaki.
Yeah. No, stop talking like that! Why are you all acting like he's some sort of killer? He's not! He's innocent, I say! Innocent! Please don't make this harder than it has to be, Kirby. Believe me, I would have taken you with me along with Pink Yoshi. Just please, like I said, don't make my mistakes. Okay, Kirby, I want you to keep going for me. No, if you're gonna get punished, then... I'm gonna go too.
What?
What? You're really trying to just kill yourself just like that?
Hey, if the man wants it, the man wants it. We got a lot of students to plow through, so taking 2 birds out with 1 stone, I don't mind that much.
You're a monster.
Yeah, I've been called worse, Toots. Now then, for the moment you've all been waiting for, I've prepared a very special punishment indeed for Kawasaki Kobayashi, the ultimate chef, with a special guest, Kirby Sato. Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Goodbye, everyone. Please, don't let this senseless killing ever happen again. Understand? Both of them? This really is cruel.
What the?
You cooked him? And ate it?
Yup, tasty indeed. But I should tell you, Kirby is still alive.
You're kidding.
Nope. I mean, I realized halfway through the execution that I probably should keep him alive. More to spare, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, let's bring him out.
Kirby, don't worry. Don't worry. It's not lethal. It's not as bad as it looks. Did Kawasaki really die?
Well, now that we should be free to go, I should probably take you back to the nurse's office. There I can treat you. I wouldn't want this getting to an infection.
When you're not running your mouth, you certainly are useful.
Shut it.
Yup, you guys are free to go.
Come on, let's go. Monokuma, sir, I do have a question. If we do not ascertain the Blackened, does that mean they graduate now with 2 others?
Right, he's right. So it's not a complete loss, right?
Boy, you all are a bunch of optimists, aren't you? You're lucky this bear is such a forgiving guy.
Stop wasting our time and just tell us what you mean.
Yeesh, temper. You know, you're not the same person when you lose control. Well, how can I best put this? The sacrificial clause was meant to be used when a jury was hung, when none of you could determine the culprit, so in desperation you off one of your own. It was never meant to be used when it was already evident who the guilty party was. Let me tell you, some of you need some help when it comes to lying.
So it is as I assumed. If you were aware in the first place, why allow us to go through with sacrificing Kobayashi?
Well, Mr. Boss Boy, if I'm being an honest bear, I wasn't very explicit when I explained it. You lot would have had been, chomping my ear off if I stopped you. And besides, ain't it poetic? The truth is what led this trial in the first place, and a series of lies ended it. The motive went just how this bear wanted to. You all believing in one another and the power of friendship and thinking that the absolute truth is fine? Yeah, well in reality, little Shy Guy's goose would have been cooked without the ability to lie. So nope, this bear says he ain't going nowhere. At least not till he off someone without getting caught. Pooh. Better luck next time. Well, boys and girls, don't let your dead pal weigh you down. I'm sure Kirby at least will sleep easier tonight. Oh, poo-poo. A new world awaits you all. A whole bunch of rooms breeds all new possibilities.
Danganronpa.
口にするあいにくばかりつける薬はないよ